Questions 39 through 42 refer to the following lecture about Lake Ontario.
If you look out the window on the right side of the van, you will see Lake Ontario, the smallest and most eastern of the 5 Great Lakes. Although the lake is navigable for large ships all year round, it is less traveled than the other Great Lakes. Lake Ontario borders the Canadian province of Ontario on its north side and the northwestern part of New York, and forms a crucial link of the St. Lawrence Seaway. The lake is about 193 miles long and 53 miles wide, and covers an area of 7,500 square miles. The shore of the lake is approximately 480 miles around. 2/3 of the lake waters lie below sea level, and because Lake Ontario is very deep, it does not freeze in the winter, except near the shore where the water is shallow. A constant current carries the water from west to east at the rate of about 1/3 of a mile per hour. Because of the capacity of large bodies of water to retain heat, the lake has a moderating effect on the climate of the areas that surround it. For example, while the eastern shore of the lake never has a really hot day, on its southern shore, fruit trees grow both in the United States and Canada. The lake empties into the Atlantic Ocean through the St. Lawrence River, while the Niagara River and the Welland Canal connect it to Lake Erie in the southwest.
Question 39. How is Lake Ontario different from the other Great Lakes? Question 40. What can be said about the traffic on Lake Ontario? Question 41. How long is Lake Ontario's shoreline? Question 42. How does Lake Ontario affect the climate in its vicinity? Questions 43 through 47 refer to the following talk about Edgar Allan Poe.
Today, we move on in an overview of prominent figures in 19th century American literature. We will begin with Edgar Allan Poe, who after more than a century since his death remains among the most popular American authors of all time. He was born in Boston on January 19, 1809, to a family of traveling actors. About a year and a half later, his father, David Poe, left his wife and son and disappeared without a trace. Elizabeth Poe, who was an English-born actress, died in 1811 in Richmond, Virginia, during a tour, and her son was taken care of by the family of John Allan, a relatively wealthy tobacco exporter. The Allans had no children of their own, and Mrs. Allan became an affectionate mother for young Edgar. Because the Allans were well off, Edgar received a thorough education appropriate for a gentleman. The Allans traveled frequently on business, and young Poe lived with the family in England and Scotland between 1815 and 1820. There, he attended a classical preparatory school at Stoke Newington for 3 years. When Poe turned 11, the family moved back to Virginia, and he continued his education at a local academy. Later, when Edgar entered the University of Virginia, he succeeded admirably in his academics. However, gambling led to the demise of his academic pursuits, and Allan removed Edgar from the university within a year.
Question number 43. Where was Edgar Allan Poe born? Question number 44. What can be said about Poe's adoptive parents? Question number 45. How old was Edgar Allan Poe when his family moved back to Virginia? Question number 46. What can be said about Poe's study at the university? Question number 47. Why did John Allen remove Poe from the university? Questions 48 through 50 refer to the following talk about advertising.
To put it simply, advertising can be any form of presentation that promotes ideas, services, and goods that have a sponsor who pays for the advertising. All advertising is non-personal, and the information contained in it is directed toward a large group of people who have many different characteristics. What separates advertising from publicity is that advertising is paid for, while publicity cannot be bought. Sponsors such as hamburger and soft drink companies pay for the time and news media space that they use to get the information about their products to the public. In many cases, specifically indicating who the sponsor is for a particular advertisement can be the very purpose behind it. Political advertising is one of the prime examples of cases when identifying the sponsor is why the advertisement is made.
Question number 48. What is one of the defining characteristics of advertising? Question number 49. Who is the audience for advertisements? Question number 50. What is the primary difference between publicity and advertising?